Everybody's Mecca Madness. Before we get started, if you want to hit a like, drop me a comment, subscribe, and share this video to your own social media collection, that would be amazing. So today I swap backgrounds. I'm a DCMS guy at heart. I love House Davian, tolerate House Steiner, scared of House Merrick, and deeply offended by the existence of House Liao. It's a joke. I like all the houses, love all the houses, and love every flavor and character in them. But we're here to talk about Classic. And we're also here to talk about Alpha Strike. Classic, Alpha Strike, tomatoes, apples, citrus. What's the hang up? If you are one of those old school battle techers that was hovering around comic book shops waiting for the battle droids or the first, second, third, or fourth edition box before we got the Atlas on the cover, you played Classic. Classic was designed to be guys getting together on a Friday night with friends or rolling dice and not playing Dungeons and Dragons or Magic or Steve Jackson games or GURPS. Battletech is your military giant robot space opera. So what do we got in Classic? We have maps. Everyone check your maps in your map sheets. You have mechs. Most of us started with the fold over cardboard with the little plastic stand so we could move our mechs across this papered hexed universe. You had 2d6 and you had a rule book about thick. But the one thing that I remember about learning Battletech is that everyone wanted a copy machine in their house so they could just run off sheets. And then we upgraded to sheet protectors and wet and dry erase markers. So one-on-one, the average game of Battletech can last anywhere from 45 minutes up to 3 hours. One mech with 3 people or 4 people. As you add more mechs, terrain, ranges, special mission scenarios, that can easily shoot up to a 6 to 8 hour game, and no one's happy. Well, I would be happy. Some people would be like, "Can we wrap this up? I want to move on." So Battletech was more of a game of skirmishes. Then we got an RPG system, and then the skirmishes led to ongoing things. We added mercenaries. Universe grew. Got tournaments all over the world. Battletech is in, I think, 17 languages now. I know there's a Russian set of rules. I know there's German. I know there's French. I know there's Spanish. I know there's English. I know there's a Japanese box that I got lucky to pick up in 2006 thanks to a very good friend of mine from the JET program. But again, it is a very intimate game. You have pilots and giant mechs. You have to plot out your movement. Then you have to wait for the shooting phase, count your ranges, make sure your weapon's in range. You start off with your gunnery skill. And this is all covered in the beginner's box set. I want to drop the link below to various places where you can find it. So if your mech walked and your pilot's a 4, your target modifier is +1 because you walked, and then it's range. So if it's medium range at 6 hexes with a medium laser is +2. So now you went from a 4 to a 5 to 6, 7. And if you're fighting against, let's say, a Griffin that walked 5 hexes in a straight line, that 7 became 8 and 9. So now you're walking slow, he's walking slow, there's nothing in the way, but you got range, you moved, he moved, and you have to roll a 9 or better to hit. And these are 2 standard pilots fresh out of the academy. It's going to be a game, a long game. You're going to have to make decisions to get closer, stay away, force your opponent to play your game, use the initiative to trick them into a situation where you have the advantage, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And for people that want to build pilots and take them through missions, and they're mercenaries or they work for a house or they're battling someone, it continues and continues, and you spend a lot of time having micro skirmishes, lance on lance. When you're reading the novels, you have regiments and flotillas and armadas and subterfuge, and spies are getting information set up for the enemy base so you can make a raid. And you're having a great time. And when you look back, it's like we had a lot of great battles, we had a lot of great games, but as far as a campaign, you dragged. So nothing wrong with classic. And here's the caveat, devil's advocate. So I'm going to switch sides of the chair now. So I want to have intense gladiatorial battles where it depends on my dice and my character and the mech I selected to change the outcome of this Solaris match, this honor duel between two rival story units and breaking the plot a little bit. Yes, classic is perfect. Instead of using Alpha Strike to play regiment on regiment, fighting across an entire planet, or like Adam Steiner, hitting every sector at once, and they invaded my home planet, no. Imagine if Tukiyid, which was a beautiful plot element, came down to a single battle between a Clan Wolf Galaxy commander and the head of a Comstar division, and a one-on-one honor duel to the death. That's classic. That's that intense knuckle bite, nail biting, knuckle dragging. Oh my God, we're hanging on the edge of our seat for every dice roll, heat build up, piloting skill roll, critical hit, falling off a bridge, action. Classic. I love classic for that element. It's very storied. It's like when you see Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker going at it for the first time before you find out they're dad and son, father and son. It's that intense. My technique has to be stronger than yours. Classic. And a lot of people over romanticize classic when you're trying to balance real life. Like I remember being in high school and, I can go spend the night at my buddy's house. His parents are cool. We can play till 3 o'clock in the morning. And if we don't finish, we still have a blast. Versus 30 years later, now I'm married and I don't have the time to give up 11 hours for a 12 on 12 match. I kind of want to wrap it up. So this is where we switch back to what is Alpha Strike. Alpha Strike is your space opera. Imagine if we took every space battle that was epic in Star Wars and we stitched it all together across every movie, every animated show. We would have about maybe 4 hours of combat footage. And without the dynamic of the background and the plot, we would have a lot of pretty explosions, snippets from every movie we know, conversation that the pilots had, and it would be an ongoing epic slugfest. And I can get with that. And the reason why I can get with that, I am not a 40K refugee. I'm a Battletech refugee to 40K who has Stockholm Syndrome with Battletech Alpha Strike. And that's the politest way I can call myself. Because I remember growing up with Battletech, I always wanted to have more units, tanks, aerospace fighters. I wanted a dropship. GeoHex just came out. I wanted to have all the GeoHex builds, and I wanted to go to a event hall and play Battletech on a 30-foot by 6 table and 5 tables. Everyone's playing a different sector, and we find out who's the winner at the end of the weekend. And I was doing the math in my head, and having 10 people with 40 mechs in Classic, that would be a 3-month game. And I would never have a girlfriend, ever. So when Battle Force first came out, and then it mutated into Quick Strike, and then it got streamlined in Alpha Strike, I was excited because I was playing Warhammer. I was playing 40K. So I was Used to 3, 4, 5, 6 hour games, anything over 1,000 points. 40K has never been efficient, fast, or quick, unless you're wiping out your opponent wholesale every turn. So Alpha Strike was like, hey, come back. We miss you, and we've given you what you've asked for. And I want to give a big shout out to Goose, as you know, on the forums. And if you ever run into the BattleTech, San Antonio BattleTechers, Goose, highly respected GM and gamer and tactician and general and mentor and everything. And I'm very glad to have played matches that I've lost. I was happy to lose. I learned a lot. Alpha Strike gives me the opportunity to pull dusty models off a shelf, get them out of my army bag, and smash in large numbers. Yeah, headshots aren't really a thing. Yeah, piloting skill rolls would give me a slight advantage. Yeah, I know that mech only has 10 rounds of AC-20 ammo, talking about a particular hunchback, but if we're playing Alpha Strike, no one keeps track of that. And I can just keep blasting and blasting until it's over. So Alpha Strike is if Call of Duty was taken off of a video game, thrown into giant mechs, put on a baseball card, everyone was given dice, and you wanted to finish a large game quick. So what Alpha Strike is not is a fast way to do a one-on-one. It's really, really insulting, in my opinion, because if your dice are hot and you don't miss, it's over in 3 turns. You gain nothing. Now, Alpha Strike has 2 homes. You can do Alpha Strike with hex sheets, and again, if you have access to 3D printing technology or you're creative with any medium, you can get railroad trees, railroad buildings, and have the experience of having 3 dimensions on a hex sheet. Nothing wrong with that. Not my thing. Alpha Strike and its natural element is hexless, which is the massive appeal for our 40K refugees. You can use your tape measure, you can use your laser pointer, you can look at line of sight with your laser pointer. You can have free reign to build the battlefields of your dreams. If you want to fight on epic skyscrapers, you can. If you want to fight underwater using a blue tablecloth and you put blue blue hills and water fauna on it, you can. You can have beautiful photography opportunities with Alpha Strike, and that's the massive appeal for me because I'm a video art and photographer, and I love doing bat reps. I love seeing bat reps. I want to get into the heads of my opponents before and after as I'm watching the bat reps that people put out, thinking if I was playing against either person, now that I see your tells and your motion, it's exciting to me. That's Alpha Strike. Not saying that I can't get that with Classic. It's just like Classic. If we're cutting for time, it's 4 mechs. That's 1 book. You add infantry, it's another section in the same book. If you're using specialized rules, then it's multiple books that you have to have sticky notes in, flip pages, and you continue going. Versus Alpha Strike, everything is in 1 book. The rules are clear and straightforward, and I have an access to a variety of units. One of the tactics that I'm not going to give you my soapbox on is infantry versus mechs. The Shadowcat that I showed you in the Alpha Strike video, and I'll show it again. The Shadowcat A is 42 points with a skill 4 pilot. Don't remember the battle value off the top of my head, but if you put a clan pilot in the Shadowcat 8, it would be 50 points. Okay. Alpha Strike is a game of limitations, and a lot of people haven't caught on to it yet. So we're going to bust the rumor, destroy the myth, and give you the truth. Alpha Strike, movement phase, shooting phase, resolution, initiative. We start over. So initiative, movement, shooting, resolution, we start over. The shooting phase, there's very few units that can fire off at multiple targets. Let's say that again. Your big scary Atlas can only fire at one target a turn, unless you have a special ability that lets you circumvent that. So that means big scary Atlas with an elite pilot is almost 70 something points. For that 70 points divided by 5, I can have 14 targets that at medium range are shooting for 1 point of damage. Atlas shoots once, I shoot 14 times. Economics of fire. And yeah, I play Tau and Imperial Guard for you 40K haters that are asking, why does he think like that? So in all earnesty, having a combined arms approach to Alpha Strike is more rewarding than just mechs on mechs. Because if you think mechs on mechs and you don't have a tactical mind, it's metal on metal and it's carnage. War is not pretty, but I prefer the opera of tactical thinking. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to record this video, so don't laugh at me. But that's where you're at, and that's what you're dealing with. So a lot of people that like Classic like the opera of selecting their weapons package every turn, maintaining their heat, getting a little close combat in, and seeing if that helps, and doing those nuances. Alpha Strike is, how can I direct the most firepower efficiently at a target, and whatever's left can start pounding something else and not be wasted? Or how can I use one part of my force to box you in and make you choose what's more important? The mission objective, the guy behind you, or the fact that I'm running up the scoreboard, taking out your stuff. Alpha Strike forces non-tactical players and non-strategic players to buckle down and have a big heap of target priority critical thinking. So again, Classic, more story driven, more intimate, more nuanced, more rules, more time. Best design for epic battles, one-on-one matchups, Solaris, or the campaign books from the Battletech mercenary units or units across the Unisphere. That's what Classic, in my opinion, is best for. I am not going to sit down and play a game of 12 on 12 in Classic because I already know that you're on a clock with an adult life. Back to Alpha Strike, strategic and tactical in a larger scale, less nuance and intimate battle scenes, because Alpha Strike, if you're doing close combat, you either got there really fast or you made a mistake and let your opponent catch you. You don't have to manage your weapons packages. You have to make selections about your special abilities. So that is Classic and Alpha Strike. If you have any questions, like, comment, subscribe, drop me a link, hit me on Instagram, or find me on Discord, and I'll drop all the information below. Again, Black Shirt Friday. Keep rolling dice.